toured Australia and overseas, worked as a staff songwriter for Universal Music Publishing in Nashville, Tennessee. He's written numerous hits for other artists, and his own work has reached the top of Australia's CMC chart. His reputation is unforgettable, and for unforgettable live shows has made him a favourite all over. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Wells.
Woke up this morning from the strangest dream. I was in the biggest night the world has ever seen. We were marching as one on the road to the Holy Grail. Started out in fortune, glorious one. Short song is a story. When you spend your lifetime trying to get your hands on the Holy Grail. Well, have you heard about the Great Crusades? We ran into millions, but nobody got paid. We raised 4 corners of the globe for the Holy Grail. The locals scattered, they were hiding in the snow. We were so fucking low, how were we to know? There ain't nothing left to plunder, but we stumbled on the Holy Grail. We were full of beams, we were dying like flies. Those big black birds, they were circling in the skies. You know what they say? Nobody deserves to die. I've been searching.
Well, welcome everybody to the big day, the big dance here in the Rams NHRU competition. It has been a massive year for season winter 18. And with us up here at number 1 sports ground for the big one, Hamilton Hawks taking on the Maitland Rugby Club. It is Bobby Harrison and the Newcastle Herald's Jimmy Gardner. How are you guys?
Good afternoon, Gareth. It is a beautiful afternoon here. It's a little bit hot, and I think this heat could be a really telling factor in the later stages.
I was really lucky to get in. The lineup was 100 metres long to get in this ground. It's the biggest crowd for a grand final since they've actually moved it back into number 2. I reckon easy. There'd be 4, 5, maybe 6,000 people here, and to be fair, 3/4 of those are from Maitland.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they do say they're a week slow up at Maitland, so maybe a little bit slow to get here for the big dance, but they are here in the big dance, first time since 2010, and myself and Bobby were part of that, getting knocked out by the Maitland club. A little bit of feel about that with this side. Can they go on one step and actually beat the Hamilton Hawks this time?
Yeah, I think through the week I was thinking no way, but over the last couple of days, I think when I've really thought about the Maitland side and what they're going to bring today, and as I said earlier, this heat I think is going to be a telling factor. And I think they can get away with it today.
And Jimmy, you've done plenty of great reporting over these two sides over the last week or the last couple of weeks, and indeed the entire year. How do you think the Maitland side sit against this juggernaut that is the Hamilton Hawks?
Well, there's certainly the Cinderella story, the feel-good story, and I'm a sucker for feel-good stories, to be honest with you. All year I've said Hamilton by how many, Hamilton by how many, Hamilton by how many. For the last couple of weeks I've just seen a couple of little chinks in their armour, and they're only little chinks, and if Maitland can expose those, and Maitland can produce a 9 out of 10, well then they're going to be right in this. But if they're slightly off at their set piece, if their execution's not good, Hamilton will just grind them out of the game and will go on and win a 4th premiership for the first time since 1953. And of course that was a Cyril Burke-led Waratahs, and he was the instrumental winner 3 years of those 4. So there's no Wallabies out here today, but there certainly are 2 very evenly matched teams that will have a red-hot go at each other.
Well, the big news, the only change out of that, Gareth Tilson will come off the bench suffering a shoulder injury in that second-grade fixture, which the Hamilton Hawks went down, and Mark O'Brien will come onto the bench, which is a fairy tale in itself. But in any case, it's Maitland unchanged and a couple of players out there. We're going to go through the team list. For me, the game breakers are for the Maitland side. Obviously, Carl Manu, Travis Brook. Where do you see those two guys fitting in for this Maitland side if they are to come out on top?
Yeah, I think the 12 and 13 are crucial today for Maitland. That in the front row. If the front row holds their ball, I think they've got a little bit of footy in them, and that's going to worry the Hamilton Hawks. But it's at 12 and 13 in that channel, and if they can get over that advantage line and give them some front foot ball, then that'll be the likes of Beatty and Stafford and the two wingers and Josh McCormack at the back a little bit of an opportunity to perhaps ask some big defensive questions to this Hamilton Hawks team.
Well, Travis Brook's been he's firstly been injured all year. He's been carrying that knee. He's been playing. Last week their timing was a little bit off, whether it was their listening or their throw connecting with him. They need to get that in sync today. But if you look at the second round, the second time these two met back in round 11, it was 11-10, Hamilton won. But that day, Maitland aimed up at the set piece. And to be fair, they're going to need to that. They're going to go. You think Turianui, who had 8 weeks away with the Samoan team, played in the front row against the Western Force. He stripped a lot fitter than he was the last time these two teams met. He should be able to anchor that scrum. Willie So, we know, can anchor a scrum, but it's going to be that line out and the clinical execution of it and providing a good platform for them to launch off is where this game could be won or lost.
Yeah, and ideally for the Hamilton side, we know the number 8, Tom Coupe, he lays their platform really well for this Hamilton Hawks side. But I tell you what, this back row of this Maitland side as well, they are just as good, if not good. There's a question mark whether Severok Abora will start. Chris Pusey, we saw out the back there, he may be throwing the lineouts. As we see now, Maitland led out by 250-game veteran Dan Runshall leading the side out here today. Big honour for him. Of course, you wrote about the family in the paper. They've been stalwarts of this Maitland Rugby Club over so many years, and it's a great thing to see him come out.
And a cheer out to his brother John, who's having some health battles, but he's coming through the other side of that. And I think on behalf of all Newcastle Rugby, wish him the best. The one we haven't mentioned is the big in from Maitland is Johnny Birrell at blindside. Runs great support lines, very strong over the ball. He could, in terms of the back rows, he's one that could just maybe edge it their way.
Well, I think it's fair to say that if Maitland are going to take their premiership trophy home at the end of the day, they've got to put their best foot forward today. They've got to be good today. Hamilton can get away with this being at 80%, but the Blacks have got to be at 100% if they're going to win this. Of
course, the finisher that he is, Siri Bainavalu, comes back into this side as well. Went overseas for a couple of years, finds himself fortunate enough to get himself a spot in this starting side due to the suspension. And of course, I mean these I guess these Hamilton forwards, they're unbelievable. I'm lost for words. They step up. You know, you got your Lamont, you got Ackersdyke, Chris Nagy's another one that goes unnoticed, and indeed Peter Backridge as well, who has been the best prop forward in the competition for the last 4 years.
Indeed, and then you throw in Pete Maxwell as well. We nearly left him out. He's 42, fit as a 22-year-old, and he'll be revved up for this today. He'll be the one that sets the tone and the tempo early. He'll get up off the line, particularly when he'll try and put a shot on a Nick Davidson or a John Birrell or one of the wide-running ball carriers, the back row of Maitland. That's where they're going to try and set the standard early.
And I think Dane Sharon will be very important today too.
Yeah, definitely. Dane, we'll talk a bit about Dane, Bobby, because you've obviously had a lot to do coaching against the likes of Dane from the Waratahs and indeed now for the Hamilton Hawks. But he's that type of player that the more the ball he has in his hands, the better that side goes.
Yeah, he's one of those funny players. He can be a dominant force with the ball, but as we've seen a couple of times throughout this competition as well, when he overplays his hand a little bit and demands the ball, he takes a little bit of the firepower away from other parts. He's got to find that really nice balance between having the ball in his hands and letting other guys carry the football.
Yes, and of course Jared Logan winning the referee appointment here today. Your thoughts on that, and how is this game going to be refereed? Brendan Farrar, for me, has let the game flow continuously through the semi-finals. Unlucky. Jared, he's been a little bit card happy in the semi-finals. Jimmy.
Yeah, well, it'll be how it all revolves around how he interprets the breakdown. Basically, Hamilton like to attack the breakdown. They like to they play right on the line of illegality. And Jared, particularly if you're giving away penalties in the 22-metre line, he will bin you. Nothing sure. We've seen that.
just before you go, Bobby, I didn't know who was running out then with that bald head out there. Steve Lamont, normally the best hair in the competition, the captain. He's come out with the freshly shaved hair.
An early preparation for Silly Sunday, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Save the boys getting around him and shaving it. He's got on the front foot and shaved it himself.
Yeah, maybe so. And let's talk about the Maitland fly half for a second here, Bobby. Pat Beatty, I know you rate him very highly as one of the best in the competition. He controls the game quite well himself. Yeah,
he's been very strong for him, both with the ball and without the ball. His organisation of his backline has been tremendous all year. It's been interesting the last few games, though. He's made way for Ryan McCormack in the last 10 or 15 minutes of games, whether that's a strategy or whether he's carrying a little bit of an injury. But how he matches up today against Dane Sharrett is going to go a long way towards who's going to be the premiers at the end of this 2018 season.
And of course they're the two opposing goal kickers as well. And Beatty, only a young player, big crowd, swirling breeze. You should see how he handles the nerves, where you think Dane Sharrett, he's come through the systems in South Africa, played I think it was for the Cheetahs under 20s. But he's never won a premiership. He's never won any silverware in 20 years of rugby. And he was pretty annoyed the other week when they didn't get to take home the minor premiership trophy after the final round.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting side story as well, with, I guess, Willie So and Carl Manu going into the Maitland side, coming from the Waratahs Club. Dane Sharrett coming over from the Waratahs Club. The former teammates pitting themselves against each other here today. Both, I guess, all three can be considered game breakers. When Willie So's on, he is definitely on. It'll be interesting to see if this Maitland side, they've been a little bit patchy in these semi-finals, and as you said, they're going to have to be 100%.
Yeah, and you can see by the way the teams lined up, there's a great togetherness in that Maitland side. The biggest problem for Maitland will be managing to cope with this emotional roller coaster they've been on. They've won games in the last breath and lost games in the last breath. It's very, very hard at this time of the year to keep coming up and keep coming up and keeping emotions under control. But the start of this game today is going to be crucial, I think. If they can be in the game with 20 to go, I give the Blacks every chance.
Well, we've seen them out there shaking hands at the moment. How do you think this game's going to play out yourself, Jimmy?
Well, they look a bit nervy for mine, just looking at their mannerisms, whereas this is old school for Hamilton. They've been
just another day.
Seven of these players out here have been involved in all four grand finals. Of course, they've won 3 of them. Last year, I thought they were a bit edgy and a bit patchy coming in the grand final, and they blew Wanderers away by 40 points. So,
yeah, definitely.
I mean, don't be mistaken. Hamilton are red-hot favourites here, and they're going to have to, Maitland are going to have to produce something special to win it. And with this crowd, that might be the X factor. It might be a burden, or it might get them home if it's tight at the end.
Yeah, with the supporters, buses coming down, the trains coming down, and of course their 4th grade side winning last night. Big expectations on this Maitland side. Of course, we heard during the week they are the only Maitland side in local sport to get through to the grand final this year. The Pickers look pretty good. The basketball look pretty good, but they are carrying the weight of expectation on the Hunter Valley town. That is Maitland. And of course, the Hamilton Hawks, as you said, they're just so used to this day, aren't they, Bobby?
They are. I've been on the other side of the fence for the last 3 years and seen their professionalism, their preparation. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to contribute too much towards stopping their dominance. But I've got a really strong feeling today could be the day, and I'm tipping a Maitland victory today.
Well, you two with Maitland, I'll go with Hamilton.
Just confirmation, Chris Pussy starting as Seva Rockabora made his way to the side. And what a guy to have off the bench, just quietly. Yeah. I know he's 40, and he's just come back from playing at Classics World Cup where he played the likes of Dan Carter and an ex-Wallaby side. Fit as he's ever been. He'll have a say in this late.
Well, Jared Logan now pointing to the captains. Josh McCormack for the Blacks will be kicking off. The Blacks, of course, running right to left on your screens towards Market Town. This is the big dance here for the Rams 2018 grand final day here at number 2 Sports Ground, and it is showtime here. And that one, lovely kick there to Lamont, and Lamont comes down with it, and again, so safe there under pressure. So they look to clear now. They go to Coupe. He gets through one tackle, gets through another, keeps legs driving, gets them about 30 metres out in a very good run. So the ball comes out now to Sherritt. Sherritt will play safe, drive that ball downfield and finds a bit of space as it bounces around from McCormick. Comes back now. Logan, he picks the ball up. Good on the counter. The chase wasn't the best by Hamilton, but in the end they regroup and take him down just before the 40-metre line. Here comes Runchell. Runchell offloads to Brook. Brook now has Johnson on the outside. Inside. Almost got the ball away. Thought better of it. Now they're over halfway here, the Blacks. Good set there, and looking inside was Beatty outside. Took it in himself. Good run early on, and that's a good settling set here, Bobby.
Yeah, the Blacks, I think they've set the standard today. So they didn't contest any of those first 3 or 4 rucks. They were willing to get back, get their defensive line set, and stop that go forward from the Hamilton Hawks.
So Manu with the ball now. He attacks the line, almost slices through, but Kilmurray's there. He's the linchpin of this Hawks defence. McCormick's to the right. He gets it. Takes the line on, finds Logan. Logan runs a very good line, but he's cut down short by Baina Valu, who looks like he's never, ever left the wing there. And now the Maitland side, they're making quite easy metres up the field, to be fair. They've knocked the ball on, though, there, Jimmy. It'll be advantage play, so first mistake.
Yeah, any nerves they had would be gone now. That was a pretty good sequence of play, 8 or 9 phases. Basically everyone got a touch, good cleaning out. Good start from both teams.
And they're kicking into this win too, the Maitland Blacks. So if they can keep things under control, Ryan McCormick comes on in the latter stage of that second half, he might kick them to a premiership.
Yeah, definitely. I think certainly ball in hand is the way Maitland's going to attack this first half as we go to the first scrum. Who leads here, boys?
I think they'll get parity here, the Blacks, and they need it too.
Certainly first scrum, this is going to be Hamilton ball, so you think they would just flex and they'll leave their first shove for first time Maitland have a feed, I would suggest. Yeah, good, nice. Looks like under a bit of trouble here on the loose head side, Maitland. Just folding in a fraction, really so.
Yeah.
So round
nice
one
work
to Hamilton.
Yeah, nice work to weave there. Sherritt turns Kilmurray on the inside. We won't get sick of calling that, but we'll call it all day because that's their go-to set-up play as it comes back now for Sherritt. Sherritt inside the 22. It's gone back. As McCormick comes across, it goes overhead. That is a lovely kick by Sherritt with the breeze to his back, but it goes into the in-goal. So he'll be brought back as he takes his time, waits for the chasers to come up to him. So they'll have a restart here, and you'd think probably they'll try and go deep here, Bobby.
Yeah, and Josh McCormack, it'll be an interesting afternoon for him. History would suggest that he didn't have the best day for Wanderers at this stage last year, so he'll be out to make amends, and he's a great young bloke and he's a talented man. Hopefully today he can have a good day.
Now he's going to go flat, kicks it across field, comes back. That's lovely work there as Manu comes over. He's under pressure and he'll take the ball in, but Vasagotti comes across.
A little knock on there from Hamilton. Of course, Carmanu winning the Anderson medal yesterday, only the 4th person to win consecutive Anderson medals. 2 of those were Steve Merrick and Cyril Burke. They went to win 3 in a row. So he's certainly at the peak of his powers, and he's really enjoyed and just embraced his move up to Maitland. And his wife's due to give birth on Thursday, so he was fingers crossed it didn't come early today. So he's got a bit on his plate in the next week or two.
Yeah, he's got to put Mad Monday in there as well. So
he tells me he's too old for Mad Monday
good
nowadays.
But
certainly 2013 when he was at Waratah, I think Mad Monday turned into Mad Tuesday, Mad Wednesday, Mad Thursday in those days. So he's 35 though now.
A good scrum there by Maitland this time as it comes now to Beatty. Drifts across foot, always hit right on point there by Sherritt. That's a lovely bit of pressure there by the fly half.
They've started well, the Blacks. They've held their 2 scrums okay, and they're looking to get to that edge as quickly as they possibly can.
Here's Logan now, goes wide to McCormick, tries to put a little jinking move on. Lovely tackle around the boot. The laces. It was La. Now Beatty comes across field. Here's Davidson, first touch of the ball. We know how good, how important he is to this Maitland side. Willie So juggles it. Comes up to Sherritt. Sherritt's going to go for the line, and Sherritt will open the scoring here at number 2 Sports Ground for the first try of the day.
And that was so similar to the 2017 decider when an intercept broke the back of Wanderers early. We've only been going 5 or so minutes here. Willie So wasn't in a position to take that hit up, turn it over, and Sherritt just picked it up, and he easily outpaced the defence to score first points for the Hawks.
Well, it fell into his arms, isn't it here, Jimmy? Look at that, and you're not going to catch him from there.
You're not indeed, and we said, Maitland cannot, they have to be clinical, they have to execute any little mistakes that you make, Hamilton make you pay.
Yeah, certainly do it, and he will get the chance to convert his own try. So 5-0 the score, and he'll be very happy with that. He loves scoring points, does Dane Sherritt. He's up there and thereabouts. Missed out this year, Sam Bright from Merriweather, leading point scorer.
And it's important to get those first points. Obviously, it's important to get points anytime in the grand final. But in a game like this, those first points are going to be crucial.
Well, it took them just over 5 minutes, and so 7-0. The flags go up here, and the Maitland crowd seems a little bit stunned so far.
Grand finals are won and lost on a little bit of luck, and that's the first bit of luck in that game to Hamilton.
outside of that, their opening 5 minutes has been pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely, especially that first set of phases they went through. They've been camped, I guess, close to their own quarter for the last couple of minutes. I guess you can't say 5 minutes because it's only been 5 minutes gone, but it's certainly been played at a high tempo here. Good restart there by McCormick. It's nice and high. Ackersdyke comes across and Brook comes up with it. So strong in the air, isn't he?
Best in the competition.
So Johnson, he loses the ball. Good tackle there in contact, and Weaver comes up with it. Now looking for runners. They counter-attack early. Lalala gets the ball on the inside, but coughed up there.
Sure, there was a hand there. Jared's noticed a hand in there. That's, that was let off the hook there from Maitland. They were good position, had the ball, chance to really hit back instantly, but a little mistake from Jimmy Johnson, a loose carry, and Hamilton released the pressure valve.
Well, as you said before, Bobby, it's those little plays, isn't it? And they're just not winning them at the moment.
It's those little 1%ers, as the modern day coach says. You've got to win those 1%ers, especially in the big games. Another test here for the Blacks.
So here they come, Auckland with the feed. Good scrum by the Blacks this time. They hold it up. A little shove there by the Hawks. As Sherritt now drifts across field, goes to kill Murray again. So laying the platform as always. They go to Weaver, coming around as Walkling looking for runners. A little bit disorganised now as Sherritt. He'll get the ball on the toe, and again he finds the grass. Oh, that is almost an A-grade bounce there off the kick as Ulberg comes back in attack. Good run. Gets them up to halfway. Trying to get them back in the match. 7-0 the score. Here's Davidson charging to the line. Ackersdyke's there to meet him. Stafford to Brook. Brook goes to Manu. Manu to Logan. Logan had support on the outside in Clackety, but didn't use him that time, Bobby.
Yeah, there's some encouraging signs here for the Blacks. Outside that one little mistake that cost them points, in most of the other facets of the game, they've been very strong. They look like
the Hawks
threatening.
are all offside there. Yeah, good call there by Logan. They jump the gun. Willie So with a quick tap, and Willie So is on the charge, bumping one off.
He'll feel he has something to make up after that little juggle, even though it wasn't really his fault. It wasn't a pass the front row would like to take, but that was a great run, great response from him.
Yeah, he's that type of player, isn't he? He'll play himself back into the match. As now here's Runchell, runs across field. Owini caught flat-footed. They go to Howe. Maitland a little bit disorganised here. They got the front foot ball there. And now Davidson picks and drives, shows a bit of strength in the tackle and waits for his players to get around him. Brook now calling for it. Brook, and again, looking a little offside there. It was Chris Nagy that time. They turn it over. Backridge passes to Ackersdyke. Lalala drops the ball though, so knock on, but the counter-attack looks ominous, doesn't it, from the Hamilton Hawks side?
That was a great opportunity for the Hawks. If that had gone to hand, they would have got into the backfield very, very easily. So both sides showing a little bit of nerves at the moment. Maitland are going okay. They're down on the scoreboard at the moment, but field position, they're dominating at the moment. And if they can get rid of these few little mistakes out of the game and start to apply some pressure, they're well and truly in this game.
Yeah, certainly we see the replay there, and just was a little in front. Ackersdyke, not his best pass of his career, but we saw him score a couple of amazing tries to get them into this grand final against the Merewether Carlton side.
Those occasions he tucked it under his wing and off he went for 40-metre charge. Perhaps he should have done that there. Again, a decent scrum from Maitland.
So here's Carmanu turning back. McCormick on the inside, little set move off the scrum. Stafford forced to pick and drive and go, trying to find some room there. Now they'll go again here, the Blacks. Looks like advantage is being played. Here's Runchell. Runchell drives forward, and good run by Runchell. They'll pick and drive. Advantage is over. So Stafford looking for the ball. Here's Brook. Brook tracks across field. Little pop pass this time. Willie So takes it. One-handed ball outside to Ulberg. Ulberg kicks inside. McCormick can't get it. So close for the Blacks there.
They might come back to a 5-metre scrum there too.
Yeah, a couple of early involvements from Ulberg. He looks like he's got some wheels on him.
Yeah, he's definitely quick, and he's kept a couple of big names out from this Maitland side. Rob Williamson has been a stalwart there for the last couple of years. He's found himself in second grade. He's on the bench here today, as we see now, hear him wind up. Good foresight there too, and McCormick was onside, so Was it Lalala that came across? No, it was Bainavalu.
And that's a big danger here for Hamilton. They've got plenty of points in them, the Blacks. If they can get possession, they're going to ask questions all afternoon.
Well, this is where the Hamilton scrum will show its might, you'd feel, but good work there by the Blacks. Oh, Stafford goes the short side. Stafford goes over. What about that? The halfback, he's been one of the form halfbacks of the competition, and that is exactly why.
He has been the form halfback of the competition. That was very un-Hamilton-like. The Blacks held their scrum very, very well. Stafford looked up. He must have seen something, obviously. Got the ball scooted, and he's almost gone over untouched. Great comeback.
He's only wide, but geez, he's a strong little bugger. He's plucky too. He backs himself every time. Yeah,
we look at the replay there. It was a big blindside, and none of those Hamilton players were aware. Tom Coupe came across as the last ditch, but Bainavalu was nowhere to be seen, the winger, and maybe that is a little price to pay for him being away for most of the season.
I would think it is. And as you said, Max Stafford's been one of the best halfbacks, if not the best halfback in the competition. He's had a great final series, and he's got the Blacks back into this game.
And he's a Singleton junior, and he came down, it was, I think... It was
same age as Luke Reese, who's gone back to Singleton.
It was Johnny Runchell that got him down. Johnny Runchell coached there at Colt side for the last 2 years, and he got him down. And, of course, there's 2 or 3 players out of that Colt side featured today. Ben Woods on the bench. Stafford at halfback and Ulberg on the wing.
Yeah, Ulberg as well, the Singletonian, as they say, and he's kicked that. It comes across and it falls short there. So the score remains 7-5, but the Blacks are back in this match.
The Blacks have had a very good first 15 minutes. Outside that one mistake that can happen to anyone, a little bit of bad luck. But they've been the dominant side, I think.
I think definitely I agree with you there, Bobby, for once. And I think certainly they've shown the better form of the two sides as this one comes towards Davidson. 22-metre line is his mark, and he takes it nicely. Now it comes back to McCormick, who looks for Logan early. Logan, lovely ball, just juggling it there is Brook. And Brook, we know he's got plenty of pace for a number 8, but he's brought down on the 40-metre line. He's Birrell this time, clearing that concussion test during the week. Manu bounces off his chest, and that's a good run there by Manu, getting his side on the front foot. Now Davidson picks and drives, spins and gets out.
They're shifting it early, Maitland, aren't they? They're definitely attacking those outside channels, the outside centre.
And it's something the Merriweather Carlton side did a couple of weeks ago too, attack this Hamilton side on the edges. Maybe they've learnt a bit from that game plan as Willie So takes it down. I think you made mention of that, Bobby.
Yeah, but even there, they've gone 6 phases. They've nearly gone 50 metres up the field, and they've done it effortlessly.
So Logan's taken down that time. Here's Jimmy Johnson in the blue headgear. Now it comes out. Birrell with another run. My tip for man of the match if they win, the Maitland side. Here's a weenie. Looking for runners now as Stafford just slowing the play down a little bit as Johnson takes another hit up here. This is where they have to be patient, Jimmy.
Indeed. They have been, to be fair. They're getting good numbers at the breakdown. They're cleaning out. Nice dynamic as Mick Howell gets through half a gap.
Yeah, nice work there by Mick Howell. They're still going, though, the Blacks, as Stafford almost scurried up and over for his second. There's Johnson, takes yet another hit up. And he's been met with a wall of Hamilton defenders now. Willie So was looking for the run. Travis Brook picked and went himself there.
Being nice and patient, the Blacks.
Well, the Hawks are going to have to watch this here. I thought they may have jumped the gun there offside, but it's going to be called the knock-on. Just rushing up in the face, good defence.
Just looking at Chris Pusey, he's got that left nerve, he's heavily strapped. He suffered a medial ligament injury in their inter-club trial last week, and he's certainly favouring it. And he hasn't played since round 13 when he broke his arm. So he's struggling to keep up with the pace in this heat. I think, too, is going to have an impact on him. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sever Rockabora come onto the field pretty early, because they're so lucky they've got Steve Lamont playing on the side who can slot straight into the front row. This was country hooker for many years.
Yeah, it's certainly good depth, and the Hamilton Hawks winning the club championships this year as well. So it really shows that they've got a strong bench here.
Yeah, the use of the bench will be very, very important today, I think. In the first semi-final with the Blacks, we saw them use the bench very, very poorly, and it eventually cost them the game. They learned their lesson against the Bay, and then last week again, and they used their bench much more intelligently, but it'll be essential today.
You can just see the water bottles out there now. The players are pouring the water on their heads. It's extremely hot out there, particularly in those black jumpers. Maitland are the ones that are sucking in all the water, whereas Hamilton are sitting there talking, looking still fairly composed. Mick Howell gets back to his feet after receiving some treatment. You think that was just a little,
that's
a little professional experience coming to the point there, Mickey Howell? Knows they need a big scrum here.
100%, that's a ploy. It's normally the prop forwards that go down, but Mick Howell's taken it upon himself to give everyone the magic water. So centre field scrum, it'll be the Hamilton Hawks to feed. Sherritt is lined out to the right. Kilmurray to the left. It'll be interesting to see which way they go here, to see what option they want for the exit. They'll go to Sherritt and he'll get the ball downfield. Nice kick over Ulberg's head. It comes off his hand, so a little juggle there. Back, says Logan. Crowd's not happy with it as McCormick gets away from one, but Kilmurray again way too strong in the tackle, and he's so instrumental to this side, isn't he, in defence?
And they're getting numbers on that edge very, very easily today. So as the teams get tired later on, I think there could be a lot of good ground to be made there for the Blacks.
And certainly that's a turnover there. Nice work by Nagy, getting in and getting dirty, and now Walkling looking for something on the short side as Sherritt gets it over the top of Vasagotti. Vasagotti chasing down and lets the ball go out. So a line out here.
This is where they're so dangerous, isn't it? They bring the ball down normally through Ackersdyke or at the front or at the back through Lamont, and they just roll it forward. Not Lamont, through Coupe, sorry.
It'll be a Maitland throw. They'll pressure it, you'd imagine. A good test of the set piece. This is the first one of the day for the Blacks.
They've done well in the scrum so far. We'll see if they can hold their own in the lineouts as well.
They go to the back. Nice work by Birrell. They're not straight though, so this could be some pressure.
They'll go into scrum mode here, the Hamilton Hawks, you'd like to think.
See Lamont.
Interesting.
He's going to call for the line out.
It's got me beat while you're 5 metres from your own line, first line out of the day, and they call it to the back. Being a former hooker, not a very good one, I certainly made sure I called them, and an easy ball, straightforward ball, 2 to start with, so you get your eye in.
I'm 100% with you there, Jimmy. So now, comes off the top, Ale. He'll clean his own ball up. As you said, his knee heavily strapped. So they're about 7 metres out. And this is where the Hawks, they'll play tough as Backridge gets through the other side. Oh, ripped out by Runchell. Lovely work by the number 2. Stafford looking for options. He clears it. Oh, it just bounces on the line there. The flag's up. It'll come back. Stafford had no options there. He got the box kick away. Wasn't a long clearing kick, but the pressure is somewhat relieved.
You would have thought the Hawks would have scrummed there, but they went straight to that line out trying to bring it down. And when you do that, you turn into a 50-50 ball, you turn it over, and the pressure's relieved a little bit.
Oh, nice ball to the back to Ackersdyke. And now here comes Coupe. Oh, Kilmurray goes without it. Davidson dives on it. So the set move not working now. They look to play off their line. Bounces up nicely for Logan, who'll get the ball downfield. Lovely kick holding up in the breeze.
Yeah, Jared Logan's thought that one went forward, that pass. He's pulled the play back.
It'll come back and it'll be a Maitland ball, will it? Yes, yeah. A knock on there by the Hawks. I thought they actually went without it, but in any case, Maitland off the hook again.
It's interesting, that advantage, Law, isn't it? The ball was 60 metres up the field or 40 metres up the field. You would have thought that might have been the advantage, but not in this day and age.
So 7-5 the score. We're almost 20 minutes into the half. It's gone at a pretty quick pace. So far, everything expected from a grand final. As the Hawks looking to make it 4 in a row. Maitland haven't won since 1999. Now McCormick, he's under a lot of pressure there. Lalala comes up, puts a hit on him, and McCormick's appealing for some sort of leniency, so maybe a penalty, but it was just good pressure.
Good line speed. He's the one that will be controlling that line speed from outside centre because he's a very experienced player. He played ITM Cup. He's got a couple of brothers who are All Blacks. So his blood genes are all right.
Yeah, certainly Bubba Coleman, he was highly regarding him yesterday. Now it comes wide. Here's Chris Ailes, sorry. Sporting the Mohawk for the grand final. Nagy taking a hit up. Setting the platform. They come around the corner. Ackersdyke with quick hands, and Coupe flicks it on to Vasagotti, who's got a bit of work to do. He's going to get caught short though. Maitland scramble. They're inside the 22 though. Goes to Kilmurray. Kilmurray, good strong hit up again. Now it comes wide. Evades Sherritt. McNeil, his first touch of the ball here today.
Good pick up too. Was at his bootlaces. He did well to pick that up. There's a penalty to Maitland.
So it goes to show that the Maitland side how they're playing. McNeil, the fullback for the Hamilton Hawks. That's his first touch of the ball here today, Bobby.
Yeah, they look a bit all over the shop at the moment, the Hamilton Hawks. In grand finals anyway, they're not used to this grind. They usually kick clear in these games, but they're under pressure both with field position and possession today, and they're not used to it.
So McCormick, he's not going to find touch. Walkling's under it. Oh, the pressure was there. Clackety put it all on Walkling, but Walkling, such a tough halfback. He's been there for so many years, as is this man, Ackersdyke. Johnson up around the head almost. The Blacks, they're in trouble now out wide. Oh, ankle tapped. There's trouble on the short side. They go that way, but it's not the best of deliveries by Walkling. Now they come around the corner as, I believe it's Coupe, the Belgian. Found his feet fairly quickly here at the Hawks, didn't he, this year? He's been one of the best players.
He has. He replaced the other Belgian, the big Belgian from last year.
Mathieu. Yeah, he's so fit, Coupe. He's a sevens player, represented Belgium in sevens and played a couple of 15-a-side tests for them as well, and he just rock hard.
As is that man there, Lamont, looking even rock harder with his hair shaved. Inside to Kilmurray now. Kilmurray dances away. Kilmurray almost getting through.
Good passage of play here for the Hawks. This is Hawks footy.
Yeah, just picking and driving and control.
Driving, putting pressure on.
They go again. So Logan spotted a little knock on there.
They're getting a little bit frustrated, the Hawks. There is a decent breeze out there. They are one of the best sides into the breeze in the competition, but they would like to go in with a little bit more than 2 points into this half-time break.
Notice that breeze is a real strong nor'wester. You see even Dane Sherritt, when he's on the grandstand side of the field, he's still kicking to that open side. It's sort of coming in over his shoulder, and we saw the attempt to touch from Josh McCormack into the teeth of it, and he didn't get there. So everything on will be kicking towards that south-east corner, no doubt.
As we see the replay there on screens, yeah, just a little knock on as he clutched for the ball. Maitland still under pressure though in their own 22.
The Hamilton scrums just starting to have their way now.
Yeah, nice push there by Hamilton, turning Manu on the inside. He'll set the ball up. The Anderson medal winner, Max Stafford, was under all sorts of pressure there at the back of the ruck, and McCormick gets a kick. So they can't get out of their own 22 at the moment, the Blacks.
You often see a penalty given for that one, just a loose arm coming through there and grabbing the halfback, but got away with that one, Hamilton.
Important few little minutes of the game here. It's the first time the Blacks have really been under this sustained pressure. They've just got to soak it up, make their tackles, and then get the ball up the other end as soon as they can.
Off the top. Lovely win there by the Hawks. They drive on as well. Now they're back inside the 22. Bakarich. Somehow he always seems to find metres out the back of that ruck. He pops up everywhere. Oh, good hands as Coupe goes towards the line. Coupe 5 metres out. Chris Ale brought to ground. They're under all sorts of pressure now, the Blacks. Going towards the line, but he's going to be held up. The ball comes to the back. This is going to be close to a try. The Maitland A and B defence read that really well there. They're still going. They're inches short.
Hamilton outside back screaming for the ball.
Lalala is unmarked. They won't need it. Oh, he's held up.
You would think for all money he's...
Pete Maxwell.
Stafford underneath him, little halfback, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, lovely defence by Stafford. I thought he got the ball down. We'll have a look at the replay here. Oh, he's got that down Bobby?
I think he's put it down on his legs, has he?
I think he got his between his legs here. As we look at, that's a try. For me, that's a try.
It's those sort of moments that win and lose your premierships, though.
I mean, hats off to Stafford. He got away with that one, as all cheeky halfbacks should. But for me, that was a try. So Hamilton, they'll go again. Sherritt lined out to the right.
Good scrum, Maitland.
Yeah, Maitland putting pressure on. It comes out the back of Walkling. He's caught with the ball. Took his time in releasing there, Walkling. Now they pick and drive.
Prepared to keep it nice and tight, the Hawks.
Yeah, just soaking up time, soaking up pressure. It's very hot out there. Yeah, turnover there. Stafford now goes to Manu. Manu to McCormick. McCormick looking to run the ball. McCormick finds... Manu drops the ball on the inside. So now it comes back to McNeil now. Kicking as well is Clackety. It's been called back, though. That was a clever play by Clackety if it came off.
It was an important tackle on Manu, and he timed it perfectly. I'm not sure it was Lamont or it was Pete Maxwell, sorry. But just as he collected that ball, he got hit from the side and jolted it free. Otherwise, they were away.
Well, it was a good pressure reliever in any case for Maitland. They looked up against it there, as we see here.
And Clackety, there was about 2 or 3 knock-ons before that, but I agree with you, Jimmy. Carl Manu takes that, and that defence doesn't come across. It opens up, and we're talking about Maitland 70 metres up the field.
Or if he's half a second earlier and he gets him early, he's in the bin. Timed it to perfection.
Yeah, it was a lovely effort there. Good defence shown by the Hawks. As now Sherritt takes the line. Lovely ball. Lalala. He gets the ball down. Here's McNeil getting Coupe coming around. Here's Vasagotti. Vasagotti steps back off his right, getting them back to that 15-metre line. They go to Coupe again. Coupe had Lamont on the outside, but Lamont chooses to go in behind. He hasn't released that. They've turned him over. And that's a penalty to the Hawks. And
Vasagotti holding his shoulder. He looks in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. We'll go back to this penalty because...
Be interesting decision here.
Maybe Carl Manu didn't roll away.
I'll be nearly tempted to take 3.
Now they're going to go for line, and Lamont there, the captain, signals for the line as Sherritt duly gets it to that 5-metre line.
Chris Hale's been fairly quiet so far in the game.
It'll be interesting to see how the Blacks defend this line out. They go to the front. Spoiling it. There's Johnson. Knock on. Lovely work by the Blacks. Now they're going to have to get it out as Clackety takes one.
A few little uncharacteristic errors.
Manu on a lot of pressure on his own line. Going to be called back for that knock on off the line out. Not going anywhere.
You don't normally see these errors from the Hawks. They went to the 5-metre line out expecting to win the ball. They did something a little bit tricky, a little bit different, and they've turned it over and they've released the pressure valve on the Blacks.
Yeah, generally you'd say, Jimmy, that's a 2-ball or 4-ball maul for the Hawks. They tried, as you said, something tricky, Bobby, and didn't come off.
They just weren't set, were they? Weren't alert to it. Big scrum, this one. Maitland have been under a little bit of pressure the last couple, but they've held strong. This one on their own ball. Big shove comes through the middle. Yeah, again, nice and strong.
Yeah, good work as Manu takes a nice settling hit up. You can see Beatty in behind there, marshalling the troops, and you can see how strong that wind is. Beatty has one of the best kicks in this competition, and he only managed to get that 20 metres up the field.
Yeah, you can see the linesman's flag there. It's probably been picking up over the last 10 or 20 minutes at Bruce.
So here's Ale with the ball. Off the top to Coupe. Lamont finds it. Walkling finds some space. Walkling up the field. Taken down. 10 metres out. Now they drive forward here. The Hawks. Pressure is building. It's mounting. Yeah, lovely turnover.
Johnny Birrell there got his arms around the ball. Won a very important turnover. No, this time this wind is getting...
Runchell was in at halfback there. He would have been better just picking and driving for mine, but he chose to go back to McCormick. He's played 250 games, so I guess he's a better judge than us.
Yeah, they're just hanging on at the moment, aren't they, Maitland? They're finding a big play when needed, but normally you would find Hamilton have this much possession, this much time in their 22. Eventually, something will give.
Well, 10 minutes to go, Bobby. Do you see the Hawks coming out with a couple of extra points before half-time?
Well, they'll have to do something a little bit different than they're doing at the moment. They're not throwing too much at that Blacks defence. Whenever they get into that scoring position, they're prepared to rumble it up and pick and drive and pick and drive. And to the Blacks' credit, they're handling it really, really well.
Here comes Sherritt across field. Lala taken maybe a little bit high, I thought. And Sherritt comes across. He's going for the field goal. Would you believe? So Sherritt takes them 3 points ahead with a field goal. So the Hawks showing their hand there and content with the points in front of the sticks, and good composure there shown by Sherritt.
You certainly don't see too many field goals in Newcastle Hunter rugby, and that's great testament to the Blacks' effort in defence. Obviously Sherritt felt there was no way through and he needed to come out with points, so he took the 3-point option and they put him in front.
And they were a bit disorganised there. They didn't really have anything set either, Hamilton, did they? So, all points are good points in the grand final, particularly when you've got a little bit of a bruise at your back, a big bruise at your back. You want to come away with something.
Well, they didn't have anything organised because the organiser was planning a field goal.
He was.
In any case, 10 points to 5, and Maitland will be buoyed by that, I think.
Especially if they can get possession from this kickoff.
Brooke goes up for it again, and Runchell comes down with it. Here comes Runchell. Nagy comes across. They need to be careful here, the Blacks. They need to control the ball. Oh, great clean out there by the Hawks.
The Maitland penalty going over.
Yeah, just went up his feet.
Yeah, just came off his feet, as you said there, Jimmy. So it's in kicking distance here. Do you think they go for the shot or they go for the corner?
I think that bruise is really stronger than we're giving it credit for. I'm not sure whether that's the option. Looks like Josh McCormack will find touch.
Let's hope he doesn't go for too much on it. The breeze seems to have dropped a little bit here.
And they've controlled the ball really well up this end of the field, Maitland. You think you could probably suck up 2 or 3 minutes at least if they just perform the way they have so far in this game.
We've got 32 degrees out on the pitch at the moment as Runchell now has the ball. Comes to Brooke, and Brooke comes down with it as they drive on here. The black tractor, as they call it.
Tractor's rolling here.
It certainly is rolling. It's controlled nicely as it's brought down. Looks like the Hawks may have won this ball, have they? Yes, they have. Walkling goes short side. Bassett got his steps. He has support and chooses not to pass it, so nice work there by the Hamilton Hawks, the forwards.
Great work by Pat Beattie there. Unfortunate not to get the ball.
We've got numbers here on the left, Hamilton. They try to throw it.
Yeah, they do throw it here as Lalala has Bainavalu to his left. Lamont was inside as McNeil gets them over halfway. Now they go Kilmurray inside. Walkling was looking for options. He ran out, so he went himself. And that's a penalty to the Blacks. So we've got 6.5 minutes to go or thereabouts.
And that's a great effort by the Blacks. Hamilton's made a 40-minute break, and at the next breakdown, they were perfectly set defensively. They made great effort to get back into that defensive line and reset, and they've won themselves a penalty, and they're going to apply pressure to the Hawks now for the next 6 or so minutes.
Well, plenty of heads on hips as well from both sides out there. They'll be looking forward to this half-time break, you'd think, Jimmy.
Yeah, indeed, as I said, it was 32 degrees, and it's been pretty physical and end-to-end. It hasn't been one of those real stop-start games. The ball's been in play quite a bit, which has particularly taken it out of the type 5. I did notice then that just a couple of the bigger Maitland forwards struggling to get back on side, but Hamilton couldn't get the ball there quick enough.
Well, that one kicked into touch nicely, but again, the breeze. Generally, McCormack could kick that up amongst those trees up the back there, but failed to even make the fence. As they look for Brooke. Oh, lovely work in the air by Coupe. And he's there again to pick and drive. They're still going now. Sherritt with the ball. Sherritt drifts across field. Nice flat ball to Nagy. He stands in the pass and he's taken as Walkling finds some space and couldn't find support in Maxwell. Stafford over the ball again. Here's Weaver standing at the back. Ackers Dyke, he'll pick and drive now and forward. Lovely tackle there by Beatty round the bootlaces. Sherritt now. No look past to Bainavalu. Here they come, the Hawks, and Lalala will score.
A forward pass, he was on the spot too, Jared Logan.
Oh, he's called it back.
He ruled it, he was right on the spot, right in line. Called the forward pass, but geez, it was a nice little inside ball from Dane Sherritt.
Yeah, wasn't it? Well, Bainavalu sniffed it out, didn't he? Came across field, and it was shut the gates for all money but for that forward pass, Bobby.
Beautiful little sleight of hand by Sherritt. It's a great play, that blindside winger coming across, and they executed it perfectly. That's gone 3 metres forward.
I wouldn't say 3 metres. I thought they were unlucky. Of course, plenty of people watching Bar TV Sports here and around the world. It's been a great season for the Rams 2018 NHRU. Peter Ryan watching in from Mauritius.
They've dodged a bullet there, the Blacks. They said they can make it count by getting up the other end of the field for these last few minutes.
Here comes the Hamilton scrum.
Yeah. And that was a well-deserved scrum. Good push on the scrum. I know Bubba Coleman, that was one of his things coming into this match about the scrum penalties, and they've won that one.
Well,
so they're going to go for goal.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you take a field goal, you're certainly going to take a penalty goal, aren't you?
They've had multiple cracks at them, haven't they? In this Blacks defence, it's been too good here for the Hawks.
And the Hawks are the best team going into the wind in this competition, and throughout this semi-final series we haven't really seen a side come home on the back of that win. Today could be the day, hopefully, for the Maitland Blacks, but they'll have to be at the top of their game because the Hawks are the best side in the competition playing into the wind.
Again, we see the Maitland forwards out near the touchline taking on some hydration. Hands on hips, Travis Brook and Mick Howe.
They're not refreshments yet till the 80th minute.
I think they'd be feeling fairly refreshed after a glug of water.
Plenty of the Hawks looking to watch this kick from the shade of the grandstand.
Well, we know how good he is, Sherritt, as he comes in, he strikes, and it comes around. He's missed it. That is very uncharacteristic of the number 10 for the Hawks. That's his bread and butter, Bobby.
You'd back him to kick that every day of the week. And that's great fill-up for the Blacks. They'll go into this half-time break full of confidence. They've withstood the best the Hamilton Hawks could throw at them, and they're well and truly in this ball game.
So Josh McCormick gets it downfield. Here comes Maxwell. He's been tireless so far. Try disallowed. Here's Ale. Running straight at Brook. Walkling looks for Sherritt now. Sherritt finds Lamont. Lamont gets them up to the 40, and here comes Akazai coming through as the dummy runner now. Almost intercepted there, and saying knocked on by the Hawks. They were calling there for touched by one of the Maitland players. So with 2 minutes remaining, the Blacks have the ball. Can they equal or get in front? Oh, Logan goes without it. You'd have to say that was probably their best chance there, Bobby.
They're unlucky there, the Hawks too, because it was knocked forward by the Black runner, and that caused a knock on. Jared Logan missed it.
Yeah, still remonstrating with the touch judge, the outside backs from Hamilton. I just noticed James Johnson got rid of the headgear. It's clearly hot out there.
Yeah. Well, that's what he's known for, isn't it? As we see here.
You can see.
Yeah, Logan had Maxwell coming across, and I'll tell you what, if he had caught that ball, Maxwell had those ribs nicely lined up there. He eats them.
They threaten a lot of times, don't they? You know, the latter part of this second half, if it opens up, those Maitland Blacks might take full advantage of these little half gaps that are opening up.
Good scrum here by the Hawks. Walkling to Sherritt. Sherritt takes it on himself. Taken up around the neck, around the head, and that's going to be a penalty. And Carl Marnie might get a bit of a chat here.
Pat Beatty there just slipped up high and sort of wrestled him to the ground, didn't he?
And Manu came in as well with a bit of a swinging arm, I thought.
Both sides.
As we see the replay here, Beatty definitely, he left the ground, didn't he?
Look at him now.
It wasn't too bad by Manu.
Both sides will be appreciative of this half-time break, I think.
So 30 seconds remaining in the half.
Massive minute for Maitland, this one. They've got to absorb this pressure and hold Hamilton now to go to the break 5 points behind. They feel fairly happy with themselves.
Well, they had the ball for the first 10 minutes, the Blacks. They just really haven't had the ball in any sort of opportunity. Lovely still here. So here they come. Last opportunity here. Manu has Logan on the outside. He's going to set it up. Good defence there by Kilmurray. Really hurting with every tackle. Beatty kicking in behind to Vasagotti as Clackety comes back. I thought that was probably the wrong option there by the fly half. As they hold up, Vasagotti gets the ball back. Oh, juggled the ball, knocked on. They're calling for it. Play on, says Jared Logan. Here comes Lamont. Treks across field, gets it back to Sherritt. Now Sherritt, he'll go to Kilmurray. Kilmurray will go to Chris Ale. Chris Ale dangerous down that flank. Setting the ball up, so regular time is over. Maxwell looking for options, and the Hawks, they look a little out on their feet as well here. McNeil taking some pressure off.
Very important to stay.
Penalty to the Blacks, so.
I was going to say very important to stay disciplined here for the Blacks. And they've got the penalty, and that should see us out to half-time, I think.
I reckon they'll have a crack here, Bobby.
I'd like to see him having a crack. It'll show a bit of intent.
No, McCormick, that's a little negative for my liking to end the half. 10 points to 5. Quickly, we'll have a quick wrap and we'll get all the second half action coming up. Jimmy, what'd you make of it?
Yeah, typical grand final. Both teams had their were on top for certain stages. Maitland certainly looked very good that first 15 minutes. Then Hamilton come back into it. Hamilton's execution in that 22, unlike them. They'll need to fix that up in the second half.
And Bobby, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I agree with you, Jimmy, 100%. I think the back end of this game will obviously decide it. Who's got the fitness, who's got the legs, who's going to use the bench the best. And if the Blacks can take advantage of this win, I think the Blacks can get home from here.
Well, we see those two men coming from the field from the Blacks, the two breakaways. They've been tireless. They've been forced to do a lot of work as the Hawks lead the Maitland Blacks in the 2018 Rams NHRU Grand Final, 10 points to 5. Thanks to Elders Insurance, of course, instant access, providing all the Bar TV sports infrastructure throughout the year. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with all the second half action.
Works the diner all day, working for the
Clare, I should say. I should know him. He's in the same surf club as me. Okay, I want to bring forward, we've got 2 awards to hand out from Tui's. We've got the Tui's Achievement Award, or Encouragement Award, I should say, and the Tui's Club of the Year Award. The Encouragement Award is for clubs that make a good crack of the year, get all their administration done, get some players in the park, and really give it a good hit. And this year, the Encouragement Award goes to Nelson's Bay, and to accept that award is Stan McManus. Now to the Club of the Year. The Club of the Year is the club that, as far as the officials of NHRU are concerned, has been a club that not only has done well in the rugby season, but has been a highlight in the community. They're a fast-growing club. They've got juniors, like you would not believe, and that club this year is Maitland. And we've got Pat Howard to come out and accept the award.
Second half. My name's Mark Wells, I'll see you around. I can't sleep. I hate sleeping. And I don't feel free. It's killing me. I can't believe this the way life's meant to be. I wanna see big skies, wanna feel like I'm alive. I wanna stand arms wide, feel like 10 feet high. I wanna touch with my own hands, see with these 2 eyes all the things that I keep missing. So watching the world go by, lessons learned. Seasons too, right between turning to spring. So if it's gonna be this way, I'm gonna seize this day. There's 1,000 miles to me and ways. Find my way back home. I wanna see big skies, feel like I'm alive. I wanna stand on. Slow. Now you got nothing to show. There's a little hope. I'm not letting go. I wanna see big skies, feel like I'm alive. I wanna stand arms wide, feel like 10 feet high. I wanna touch with my own hands, see with these 2 eyes all the things that I keep missing. So watching the world go by, watching the world go by, watching the world go by. Sing it out. Have to sing it out for good luck. Go the Hawks!
Well, welcome back everybody to Bar TV Sports coverage of the 2018 Rams NHRU Grand Final right here at number 2 Sports Ground. The score 10 points to 5 in favour of the Hamilton Hawks. and they are up against the Maitland Blacks. But I tell you what, the Hamilton Hawks, they are up against a very stiff breeze, which we saw affect the Maitland kicking game in the first half. And with us up in the Bar TV Sports commentary box, Bobby Harrison and the Newcastle Herald's James Gardner. Well, half-time's come. Can the Maitland Blacks come out and capitalise, or can the Hamilton Hawks hang on?
Well, obviously the first point score is going to be very important this next 5 or 10 minutes, particularly if it's Hamilton. Then it's going to be a long way home for Maitland. But the game's evenly poised. It really is. It's going to be whoever makes the most of those opportunities. We've seen a couple of half breaks from both teams with that final ball's just gone to ground, whether it's a forced pass or some good defence. It'll be interesting to see what ploy Maitland take, where they do try and play it down this south-eastern corner with the breeze at their backs and just try and apply some pressure through field position and possession, or they keep the ball in hand, because they look really dangerous when they've got the ball to the edge, and they've tried to get the ball to the edge very quickly.
Well, we saw how Dane Sherritt really did that, controlled the game, kicked it into the corners, and there's no better player in the competition that can do that. Can the Maitland fly half Beatty, can he do that, or do they bring McCormick on a little bit sooner here, Bobby?
Yeah, I think Beatty's had a good day so far. They need to show confidence in him. He's a good young player and he's controlled the game well throughout the season. I'm confident he can bring it home. Hamilton's been a little bit off today. It hasn't been the Hamilton of old, but as soon as Scott Coleman got him in that dressing room, he's a master coach and he's a master of getting him back on track. But this first 5 or 10 minutes will be so very important in deciding who are going to be the 2018 premiers.
Well, Mick Howe leads the Maitland Blacks back onto the field. It'll be Hamilton Hawks to kick off.
I don't expect we'll see them do much else other than this kick-off in terms of kicking the ball up. They'll keep the ball in hand and just grind their way up the field.
Well, there's no better team that can do it either. I mean, as you said before, Bobby, there's no one else in the competition on par against the breeze than the Hamilton Hawks.
And they've shown it over and over this year. They've been up against the gun lots and lots of times this year, and they've been able to, after half-time, just bring it home.
So here we go. Jared Logan checking with the co-captains there from Maitland. It'll be Dane Sherritt there to kick off. Chris Ale remaining on the field. Thought maybe he may have been replaced at half-time. There's Logan now. Goes to Lamont. So here we go. He goes to the right. It's off the side of the boot, and it's batted back by Ackersdyke to Vasagotti on the far side. So the Hawks come up with the restart there. Good attacking kick by Sherritt. He shaped to go left and went right, Bobby.
He did, and they've got possession back. They're back in their own half, but at least they got hold of the ball, and that's what they want to have in this half going into the win. As much possession as they possibly can.
So this will be trouble here as Lalala turns Logan on the inside out. We know he's got plenty of pace. Manu comes across inside to Logan. Logan looking for quick feet, but he pops the ball inside. Wasn't really needed, so McCormick goes wide now. Here's Clackety. Clackety up the field. Good run here by the winger over the 40.
He was playing rugby league a couple of years ago for Curry Bulldogs. Clackety. He's really made a fine switch over as they go left again. McCormack on the boot. Ooh,
yeah, nice kick there by McCormick. I thought maybe he ball in hand, but he found touch, which is better than his first half.
Yeah, Chris Logan was beat on the inside here by Lalalo, but did well to get back and recover and take that loose pass.
Well, if you had seen just before he came across, he was caught in at a couple of rucks before, and he took his time sort of coming across. He has got that ankle injury, so maybe that's plaguing him at the moment.
And that Lalalo, he's a bit of a compulsive offloader at the end of his run. It doesn't really fit in with Hamilton's style. If he'd gone down, reset, and they could have gone again, that's what Hamilton are all about, controlling the ball.
Off the top, turning around is Coupe. He does so well, beating the first tackle almost every time.
He's a workhorse, isn't he?
So Sherritt going now, ball in hand. Here's Chris Ale. Good running with purpose there, and yeah, that's going to be a penalty.
Great work, Chris Logan.
Yeah, he did really well, and that's one of his underrated features of his game over the ball.
He's had a great final series. He was a match winner, as we saw last week, but he's been good each and every week, and hopefully he'll be able to perform for the next 38 minutes and lift that trophy.
He's only a new father too. I think his wife gave birth a month or so ago. He's originally from Ballina, played a fair bit of Group 3, I think, rugby league up there.
Oh, that's a poor kick there by McCormick. The flag goes up though.
And Avalo just got a hand to it, didn't he?
We might get...
Rob Delvo said it's gone out.
Yeah, we might be able to get
got his hand up
replay
there,
on that.
I thought Bonavalu was inside the field of play there.
In any case,
certainly a great opportunity for Maitland early in the second half.
Comes off the top, so they go wide immediately. Beatty steps off his left. Oh, lovely defence by Bainavalu coming across. And here's where the experience counts. On their own line, and Sherritt inside ball.
Beatty put a little step on then and found a hole. He was a little bit surprised he was in that hole.
Now they come across playing off their own line. Here's Kilmurray. Kilmurray goes outside to Coupe, gets the big palm out. We know he's very quick. As he steps in and away, Manu comes across and chops the legs out. But they're in trouble now. The Blacks, they're struggling to get back. Here's Weaver, probably not the man they were looking for up the middle.
I think they're penalty here for offside.
Yeah, definitely. And the Blacks really struggling to get back there. And Walkling takes the quick tap. They're all offside again. Sherritt steps off his left. Big flick pass out the back. Now it bounces up and around. Vasagotti. They lose about 10 metres here, the Hawks.
You can see the Hawks are in championship mode now. They get the ball to the edges. Their energies are up.
So here's McNeil. Bainavalu getting busy early on.
A little word from the touch judge there. I think we've got an advantage to Hamilton here, so another penalty coming their way.
Digging for the ball, Walkling. Lamont looking to get his side on the front foot, gets it to McNeil. Now they're up to the 22. This is easy metres by the Hawks. The Blacks tiring early. Oh, dropped the ball. Their advantage was over as well, so they get away with that one, the Blacks.
I don't know what he's actually ruled here. It looked like the advantage was over. And it was over, and he's ruled knock on by the Hawks. Black scrum. I would have thought he might have come back to the advantage for the Hawks there.
You can see here Maitland, tight five, got their hands on their knees, taking the big breaths in, really so on the ground, just conveniently doing up his shoelaces as they get their composure back.
Well, as we said before, it's going to be their problem, isn't it? The depth. They just haven't got the depth across the forward pack that the Hamilton Hawks have. They need Willie So. They need Francoini to stay out there for as long as they can.
It's actually Francoini who's doing his shoelace up, not Willie. My bad.
Sorry, Turiuini. Frank's obviously, his brother comes off the bench, but certainly hasn't got the fitness of Turi.
And I'm sure that Hawks are going to turn the volume up on this particular scrum. Important for the Blacks that they just they take this pressure on and they just absorb this pressure. They did it well in the first half.
Yeah, good scrum by the Blacks. Beatty drifts across field, goes to McCormick, goes wide to Logan. Logan looking for that big step, but he's rounded up nicely. It's been a good battle out there, and he's lost the ball for the second time here today, Logan. McCormick scurries back into the pocket. Flat ball there, calls for forward pass, and Logan says it's just that.
Going back to the original Blacks knock on from Chris Logan. It's a little bit thrust and parry here at the moment for this first 5 minutes. Neither side have really gained any ascendancy. Most of the game's been played in this 20 metre, 25 metre either side of halfway.
I think for the Blacks, they're down in their own 30. They need to start turning this Hawks pack around, start working a bit more, Jimmy.
Yeah, we see Turianuri just taking another knee. He's got an issue with that ankle by the look of it.
He had a few ankle problems earlier in the season, and I think last year for Merriweather Carlton as well, he had a bad ankle.
And of course, he had that 8 weeks away with the Samoan side, in which they trained like full-time professionals. He stripped about 15 kilos in that space, but clearly it would have taken some toll on the body as well when you're not used to being in a professional environment. All of a sudden you pitched into it and you finish with a game against the Western Force. So he's just getting some treatment there. And I just also noticed Steve Lamont getting in the ear of Jared Logan while Anui was down getting treatment there. Not happy with whether it's the advantage law or whether it's a couple of things going on at the ruck, but certainly Steve's a very good captain, very good persuader. I wouldn't say he's in the Cameron Smith Melbourne Storm class, but he certainly knows how to make his point.
No, he's not in the class because he's teaching the class.
Yes, I'd agree with that one. There was no movement then from the Blacks bench, so obviously it was just go down a knee, let's get a breather, let's reset, let's refocus.
So Walkling has the ball, be Hamilton Hawks to feed. They've got a very deep backline set. And Vasagotti looking to chime in as well.
Great scrum by the Hawks.
Yeah, nice work as Sherritt was looking for the ball, but they pick it up and drive it off the back. And they're going to go to the right through Bakarich. And again, solid and strong on his feet. Takes 4 or 5 to put him down. Now they go to Coupe. He's had a very big second half so far.
He's had a great game so far. He's had a great series. He's had a great season, actually, Tom Coupe.
It'll be a shame when he leaves at the end of the season. They work the short side here. The Hawks thrown to the deck. Inside the 22 now, and they're making good ground. Bakarich is the foil this time. Now it goes in behind. Oh, Kilmurray goes without it. The ball just missed time by Sherritt, but it's advantage played.
It'll be interesting to see what the Hawks do here. Surely they'll have a shot for 3, which will put them
Against
out
this wind,
by 8 points.
It's a tough one.
I think Dane Sharrett's probably kicked goals in to win like this on the high felt.
No, he's going to go for touch. Interesting. So they had multiple efforts at them in the first half from this distance. Couldn't crack the line. Let's see if a half-time rev-up by Coach Coleman's got their set-piece firing, Bobby.
Well, he is a master coach, and he is a master of bringing sides out for the second half and playing totally different. But just when you think you've got them, they come out the second half and they blow teams away. And, you know, all credit to Scott and his team and what he does.
Coach of the year after half a season. I think that's unprecedented as Davidson comes up with it. Davidson going up towards the 22. Kilmurray comes across, and that's lovely work by the breakaway. Logan now looking to get his team on the front foot, and they've contained him really well here today. As it comes back to McCormick, Ryan McCormick on the field, finds Vasagotti. Finds Vasagotti on the chest. And that's the first drop I think I've ever seen him make.
They were extremely lucky to get away with that.
So lucky.
It was a half-baked kick straight down his front. He's put it down. It's worked out well for him.
Yeah, it wasn't the best kick by Ryan McCormick, who generally takes a couple to get into the rhythm of the game, Jimmy.
Yeah, interesting play. They've brought him on only 10 minutes into the second half for his cool head. I think in the past it's sort of been the last 20 minutes where he's come on and taken things, but clearly Michael Hickling and Ryan himself. I wonder who makes that call, whether it's Ryan.
Yeah, I spoke to them about it the other day when we were here, Jimmy, and I believe Ryan makes all those decisions and Mick wants to hook him. Now, he's had a very good semi-final series. He takes the line on now. Nice ball out the back to Clackety. And Bainavalu, Clackety undoing all the good work they've done.
Both teams have turned the ball a lot over today on that little offload in traffic at the end of their runs. They need to control possession to build that pressure.
Ball comes out the back. This is bouncing up for Clackety. Can't quite get it, but they've gone backwards now, the Hawks, and very good quick pick and drive there as they try and roll him over into touch. Now it comes wide and out the back. Malala tries to step and dance his way up to the halfway.
He hasn't released there, I don't think.
Yeah, he definitely did not release that. So it's a Maitland ball anyway. Here's Karl Manu on the edge. Has Logan on the inside. Fire. Logan goes without it again. That's his third drop of the day. And now Maxwell goes up the field. Walkling can't get up.
Again, a very short advantage by referee Logan. You thought he would have gone back to the penalty for the Blacks from the previous infringement, but
I don't think he was even playing advantage there, Bobby.
The Hamilton players, Ivan Walkling, I think it is down, receiving treatment. Doesn't look real flash.
No, I think he's copped a head knock there.
Yeah, I think he might have copped it. He went low, and I think he might have got a boot in the head. But he certainly looks to be in a bit of trouble.
He's moved, but he hasn't got up. So they're up to halfway, and they're picking and driving. McNeil's gone into acting half, comes to Sherritt. Lalala drifts across field and again breaks the line. Can't find the offload, though. A dangerous part of his game, but he can also cause mistakes, as you said before, Bobby. And McNeil gets through. Solid as always. Now Ackersdyke picks and drive. Walkling still down. Bakarich. Good run by the prop forward. Here's Coupe. And the Hawks are rolling forward. And that's going to be called an obstruction. Unlucky there for the Hawks. They do look very dangerous, though.
Yeah, they're certainly in there, into the win mode and that pick and drive and controlling possession. The Blacks are doing well to hang on here at the moment, but it's essential they get some field position here so they can apply their own pressure.
They haven't kicked the ball once in this second half, the Hawks, as opposed to the first half where Sherritt was using those corners really well.
As we see his replacement, Ivan Walkley, going to the touch line. They acknowledged the head. It's a blue card. So we won't be seeing Ivan Walkley again. That's him for the day. And Noah Church, who played, to be fair, played at least half the season.
Oh, no.
9, 3/4 of the season.
He got dropped a week out of the grand finals, I think, didn't he?
Semi-final, yeah.
Oh, sorry, semi-finals. So, yeah, he's back on the field where some would say he belongs. Walkling, when he took over, he was disappointed for the young halfback.
Yeah, I think it was more the communication and the enthusiasm and the ability to bark at his forwards. I think is why Scott Coleman said he went for Walkling in the big games at the end of the season.
So Stafford. Oh, good scrum there by the Hawks as they
might have gone early there, Hamilton.
Yeah, they may have gone a little early, but Logan's going to have it again. They may have to watch themselves here because they have found themselves with players in the sin bin.
And that could be the difference in this game if you're going 15 on 14 for whatever reason.
Rockabora now come to the sideline too for the Hamilton Hawks. So
that's a tough interchange to take, isn't it? To be honest.
Change imminent there, and
120 kilos, 6'6".
Steve Lamont will go to hooker, and you think Chris Hale will come to the sideline?
He hasn't been at his best here today. Oh, good scrum there by the Hawks, but McCormick will get it. Manu to Logan and getting them over the advantage line, but it was good defence. Oh, that ball bounces up luckily for McCormick to
Numbers here.
Josh McCormick, and Josh McCormick turning Clackety on the inside. Clackety up the field. There he comes, and he finds Stafford, who finds Manu, finds Logan. Logan busts through. Looking to pop the ball up to Howell. Howell gets it now. Ulberg hasn't seen much of the ball, and Ulberg loses the ball. Vasagotti comes over. In cover defence. Now McNeil goes wide to Ackersdyke, who drops the ball as well. And Travis Brooke comes over and gives him what he thinks of him.
Just those little 1%ers we mentioned in the first half. They're making the half breaks, they're getting into attacking zones, and then they're just, whether it's a loose carry or a poor pass or a little bit over enthusiasm, and it's coming undone for the Maitland side.
The Maitland winger Clackety can play a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And interesting enough, he has played in at fly half as well for the Blacks over the last couple of seasons.
Every time he's got the ball today, he's beaten 1, 2, 3 tackles, and he's looked very dangerous. I think he could be one of the match winners out there if they can get him some ball in space.
We see that change now with Seva Rockabora coming on to the side of the scrum at number 6.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good change there by Coleman. And that's a short arm to the Blacks, as Bakarich and So have a little bit to say to each other.
Former teammates, of course, at some stage. Well, Willie's played at every club, to be fair, bar I think Wanderers.
Yeah, he had a pre-season at Merriweather.
We had a coffee with him at Wanderers one day.
Well, that's your problem. He doesn't like coffee, Bobby.
That's right.
To be fair, I think he does live up Maitland way now, either Beresfield or Woodbury or somewhere.
Yeah, he does.
In between.
Just wondering if he needs a university degree, Bobby.
Or an open foundation course.
Yeah, open foundation.
About
a little change there.
Making people better.
So we've got to change.
He comes to the sideline now. James Robertson, certainly the bigger Irish prop than he was this time last year, to be fair.
He stacked it on.
Yeah, he's been looking after himself off the pitch. He just rolls in there.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of binds, was it?
No.
Bakarich, of course, with all his experience, and he might be in trouble here, Bakarich, and he does get in trouble for the boring in penalty at times, Bakarich, and this was one of the concerns Bubba Coleman had before the match.
He's certainly into Rob Delbo on the line there. He's trying to point something out to him about his opposition scrummaging technique.
Yeah, and Robertson's having a bit to say as well. He wants him square. And that's better this time. Bakarich drives with his legs and not his head, and McCormick comes across. Logan on the inside. Oh, he goes to throw the pass again. He didn't need to do that.
That's 4, by my count, 4 times he's got his head through the line and come up with a spilt ball.
And that'd be the 10th, 15th turnover from both sides today.
Yeah, this game getting fairly scrappy, and to be fair, it's Maitland who are going away from their game plan early on in that first half, and they held the ball so well, didn't they?
They did, and that's what they needed to do this half. They haven't had much ball this half, but we're getting into those championship minutes now. This last 20 is going to be very important in terms of fitness, in terms of who gets the bounce of the ball, I think.
Scrum is set.
Like
yeah, good scrum by the Hawks. Yeah, advantage being played. Sherritt comes across field inside to Vasagotti. Now they come back to Sherritt. Here's Rockaboro. Kilmurray now. He steps off his left, turns Manu inside out. Church.
Another penalty.
Yeah, Church was hit. They were offside there, Maitland, and they will have to watch themselves now. And Logan, he's been very good today. He has been the #1 referee for a number of years. He was in danger of missing his spot.
17, I need you to stay in the contact, please.
Because he was injured last year, he did a knee injury just on the eve of the finals, and Drew Tonks controlled his first grand final. This is Jared's 5th. He done 4 straight until last year. And of course, Drew Tonks down in Sydney and did the second grade shoot shield grand final, as we see.
Yeah, doing the NRC this weekend as well. One of the games.
And he was under a bit of pressure from Brendan Farrer, especially over the last part of the competition.
Oh, good
Brendan
ball.
was very good.
Rockaboro. Sherritt now getting more touches. Now they're looking dangerous again, the Hawks, as Kilmurray goes up the field. They go wide. Sherritt looking for Lamont on the inside. He'll take the ball in himself. Rockaboro getting busy. Buoyed by his little trip overseas to Fiji. Now they go to the right, and this is looking very dangerous. They're 10 metres out now, the Hawks. Here's Maxwell.
Well back.
Next
They go in behind to Sherritt. Sherritt goes wide. Yeah, good hit there. McCormick it was. Here comes Sherritt drifting across field.
He was looking for a runner on his inside, no one there, so he took ball to contact and gets it back.
Here's Ackersdyke, straightens the run, takes a couple with him, getting them to about 5 metres out. Here's Bakarich. Not making many metres, and Coupe forced to pick and drive. Vasagotti screaming for the ball, but they might not need it out wide as the Hawks are threatening the line. Here comes Lamont. Lamont spins. Kilmurray. Sherritt has it. He'll take the line on. No look pass to Lalala. Rolls. Can't get there. He is but an inch out from the try line. Now they go over. Held up again. Driven back over the line. I think that'll be held up in goals. Yes, it will. Great defence by the Blacks. 20 minutes on the clock remaining.
This is where they're at their best, the Hawks. They just strangle the life out of games. They're a so patient team. They just work and work and work and work, and they work tirelessly, and eventually they just get you.
Yeah, the Blacks, they look tired, don't they, Jimmy?
Yeah, hands on hips. It's been fairly gruelling. Never had this sort of pressure on them in the grand finals. This is where they really have to step it up. This scrum, Power's going to come through the middle. The Hawks will be certainly looking in, even if just get on the front foot so that the Maitland defensive line doesn't get a jump on them.
Right in front of the Hawks crowd. You can hear the chants of Hawkeye.
They need to break the Blacks. They need a penalty. They need someone to put their head through the line and get an offload. They need something to go their way to get the footy down the other end of the field. Again,
it's been great control, great tempo by the Hawks. They haven't allowed the Blacks to get into this second half. And when the Blacks have, they've made silly mistakes, haven't they?
Once again, this wind, who in each of the finals games we thought would be a factor, hasn't been a factor as yet.
All front row. Front row. Three. Temple to temple. We need a little bit of separation.
So you can hear Logan there. The Hawks, you think they're going to go for this, Jimmy?
I've got no doubts they're going to at least put a shove on and see what sort of response they get from Maitland, and possibly come with the secondary one as well.
So Church feeds the ball, and it's held nicely by the Blacks, but here they come now, the Hawks. This is what they do best. Bainavalu comes to the short side. Now it comes out. Sherritt drags across. Lalala goes 5 metres out. Now it goes back to Sherritt. He's looking for runners, and they run away from him.
Still got the advantage here too, the Hawks, from that scrum penalty.
So here's McNeil. He'll set the ball up as well. So advantage being drawn out again. Rockabaro. The Blacks look like they may be creeping offside as well, but Ackersdyke's driven back about 5 metres, but the penalty's going to stand and be served.
The Blacks have been very good at this phase of the game, to their credit, the last couple of weeks against both the Bay and Mary the Carlton. They were under enormous pressure for long periods of the time, and they stood up and be counted. So they're used to this sort of finals footy. They're used to this sort of defensive pressure. But have they got their mind in it to be able to do it in a grand final with a premiership on the line?
And again, Steve Lamont says scrum, thank you very much, from that penalty. So I think it'll be the repeat of the effort 30 seconds ago. Can Maitland this time dig in?
Well, the Blacks need to dig in because they can't afford a penalty try, and they can't afford a play to be sent from the field either. Oh, good scrum again by the Hawks. Coupe controlling it nicely. Now it comes out. Sherritt drags across. Kilmurray doesn't danger this time. Coupe. He's cut in half. The Blacks, McCormick needs to get up off the line. They go in behind.
There might have been an obstruction.
Yeah, calls for obstruction were heard by the crowd, but Logan says play on. Now they're going to go close. Here comes Sherritt. Sherritt inside, ball to Vasagotti. Bainavalu's on the left. They go short, and is he under him? I think he is. Oh, he's not even over. The Blacks need to get low, and that's a try.
Well, they're relentless, Hamilton, aren't they? They just keep coming at you.
And there's a Weaver who gets the try. So Weaver gets the try, and all of South Wales is going crazy.
And they were unlucky there, the Blacks, because all three of us called that close obstruction. I think the bunker would have picked it up as an obstruction and given the Blacks a penalty. Unfortunately, referee Logan didn't read it that way, and Jimmy's hit the nail on the head. They are relentless.
Yeah, well, for me, it evens it up, because I thought they got a try disallowed in the first half. There was a try, and he was quick to blow the whistle that time, Logan. Looks like Sherritt has a bit of an injury with the ankle out there as well.
And this is where they love the game, the Hamilton Hawks. This is the masterclass of any Scott Coleman coach side. Well, 16 minutes.
Yeah, this is where they can really blow it out, can't they?
Unfortunately, in my time at Wanderers, I've sat through many last 15 minutes and watched this Hamilton side just strangle the life out of the game.
Imagine when you're at uni.
Seahorse 628, Gareth.
As Sherritt hits that one, shaves the inside of the post. So 17-5 the score. 15 minutes remaining, and the Blacks are up against it. Can this big Blacks crowd get them up? But I tell you what, it's almost equal numbers with the Hamilton Hawks supporters.
And to be fair to the Hamilton Hawks, in the 25 minutes of this half, the Blacks haven't set foot inside the Hawks quarter yet.
So restart there, goes to Coupe. Coupe very safe under the high ball. Howe wraps him up, gets the ball to Rockaboro, and he'll go forward. Logan comes across the top. And here's Bainavalu. Nice run by Sorelli.
Struggling to get to his feet. Yeah.
Here comes Chopper Maxwell. Been relentless as always here today. Ackersdyke. Runchell meets him in a strong tackle. Here's Sherritt. Sherritt, he's charged down.
It'll be a great test mentally now, the Blacks, with 14 to go. Have they got that will that they can come back?
McNeil looked to pass, but Chris Logan came up very quick on the edge. Now it comes back to Sherritt. He goes to Nagy. Nagy has had another solid game here today. Maxwell. Here's where the big players step up, the Hawks. Now it comes to Sherritt. They go wide. Malala. Oh, penalty to the Blacks. So they get away with that there. The Blacks, the Hawks were building. Looks like Runchel, I think, may be down.
Lalala's been, he likes to carry the footy.
Yeah, he's been busy. He's been involved, hasn't he?
Doesn't pass it very often, but geez, he likes to carry it. And he does well at it too.
Sean O'Connor coming to the field. Looks like Runchel will be coming from the field. And he should get a standing applause. Dan Runchel. He's had a very good game as always. Coming off with an injury. He looks absolutely busted.
Great stalwart of the club. Sean O'Connor's been good when he came on last week. Carries the footy pretty well. Very good in the set piece. So even though he's not as good as Runchel, they won't lose too much in this last 14 minutes. But they've got to get something in the next 3 or 4 minutes of play.
So 13 to go. Brook, did he come up with it then? Yes, he did. Stafford. Oh, good run there. Chris Martin's on the field, yeah.
For Olberg about 5 minutes ago. Olberg said it looked like he was feeling for a shoulder.
Well, that's a poor pass out at the back of the scrum there as Clackety's forced to pick it up. They look very disjointed now, the Blacks, and this is a shocking day for Logan in the hands department.
Again, he pushed his nose through the line, but just couldn't get a handle on the ball.
Penalty, Black.
Penalty, Black. We're getting the call for. Francoini, quick tap taken by Stafford, offside the Hawks. Yep, and the touchdown dropped elbows called it, so it's another penalty there, and 3 in a row. They might find themselves in trouble if Brook can go quick here.
So they're going to put this in a touch.
Black 19, substitution. 19.
So Stafford on the sideline there. He's going for the water. Big Francoini comes on for Turi.
12 minutes to go. Scrum's going to stand up and be counted here.
They're looking to make another change here, the Blacks as well.
One goal.
Alistair Fraser comes to the sideline. Good young player. He's going to replace Howe, which is, I think that's pretty surprising. Howe's had a very big game. He's the leader.
Co-captain.
So with 10 minutes to go.
And he's not the biggest man, the replacement. They could put the scrum under all sorts of pressure now.
That's a very interesting change, Jimmy.
It is indeed, particularly, I mean, this we've just seen where Hamlin's starting to get on top of the scrum as well. I think you'll see a big shove coming from this one.
Maybe it's offset by big Francoini being up front now, but the Hawks push. They're looking for another shove, and they've turned it over, have they? Yes, it's screwed, and I'm very surprised there that Maitland actually elected for the scrum.
You didn't have to be a genius to know that as soon as that move got made in the Maitland pack that Hamilton were going to have a look and put the pressure on straight away.
Well, you look at the replacements when they come on for the Hawks, and to be fair, they haven't made too many here today, so that is a big testament to this ageing pack and their experience.
Here it comes again, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, picked up off the back by Brook. That's good stuff, and a good ball to McCormick as they go now to Logan. Logan stretching them wide. McCormick looking for Martin out wide. Martin, he's taken down 7 metres out. So with 10 minutes remaining, can the Blacks come up with something through Davidson? He gets them 2 metres out. This is where Manu's dangerous. They go short. And Hamilton will come over. There's hands on the ball.
Crucial clean out there at the end. I think why Brooke got there just in time.
Yeah, just in time. Wasn't Davidson? Spins and Davidson's over! The Blacks go up! And they get the try. 17-10. Kick to come.
Nick Davison made a tyro for him today. That was his third hit up, I think, in that little phase of play. And he was just too big, too strong. And with 10 to go, that puts him within striking distance. This goal becomes absolutely essential.
Well, 100 metres up the park about 5 minutes ago, he made about 4 tackles in a row, almost turned the ball over. He had his hands on his hips, he looked down on his feet, then he takes 3 hit-ups in a row, gets his side back into the game.
And he doesn't train with the squad. He works night shift, afternoon shift in one of the mines. The Thursday before the grand finals, the first time this year he's actually trained with the side. He's a monster in the gym. He does his own running. He's body double at training as Mick Hickling, the coach. He plays open side at training essentially, and all the rugby talk is done via the phone and footage and WhatsApp and all those sorts of things that these young guys get into now. So he's got an engine. There's no doubts about that.
Yeah, he's been probably the best breakaway over, I guess, the past 5 seasons, you'd have to say, Bobby, and that shows exactly why.
Easily. He's terrorised many sides over the last 5 years. He's relentless, he's tireless, he's tough, he's good skilled, and he just puts his hand up to work over and over and over again.
Oh, McCormick makes no mistake. So 17-12, 8 minutes to go, and the Blacks are back in this match.
What odds a draw here, Gareth?
Well, I picked the draw.
You picked the draw. Let's go back to
the Harry Schnitzel competition. I went Musselbrook, greens, draw. The grand final day.
Could go back
lovely
to that,
take there by Baina Valu.
back to that epic of 2009.
Yeah, off his feet there. That's a silly mistake. Unfortunate. Sean O'Connor.
On the ground, you got to let him go and then get up.
Looks a lot like Bubba Coleman's brother, Matt Coleman O'Connor. I know he'll be listening in. Of course, the match brought to you by Rams, Elders, Instant Access, all big partners of Bar TV Sports over.
Looks like we've got a front row interchange here from the Blacks. Willie So's back.
Willie So's back on.
Yeah, he went off, not injured, yep.
He's injured, so that's a good little loophole.
Time-wise, 8.
They come off the back. Oh, that's lovely work by the Hawks. Nagy went without it. But here they come, Hamilton. Maitland, can they hold on? They've undone all their good work up the other end of the field as Lamont puts his hand up. Rockaboro puts his hand up.
What odd Sharrett here in the pocket for a field goal.
He's standing deep, Maitland. They're struggling to hold on here as they pick and drive the Hawks. Very close. Bakarich is the back, we know. Oh, penalty to Maitland. That's great defence by Maitland. To be fair, it's their defence that have kept them in this match here today.
And it's a defence that's actually kept them in this competition over the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, you would have given all money that the Bay was going to beat them and their defence hang on. And the same last week with the Greens. So it'll be testament if they get away with this game. They've done it on the back of their defence.
McCormick. That's Josh McCormick with the ball. He'll find touch just over the 22. So they have to go about 80 metres here. And it's a game that changes so often, the grand final. Here comes Frank Uini, taken nice and low. Yeah, he's knocked it on. He's rolled over the ball. I thought he might have got away with it, but Logan right on the spot there. Good call.
And that's a crucial error for the Blacks.
And the handling's really let them down, hasn't it? While their defence has been their highlight, their execution, it hasn't been, I don't think, above 70% here today.
Yeah, very atypical of them. Their handling throughout this whole final series has been spot on. but today it's let them down.
17-12 the score. It's been a great semi-final series here for Rams. NHRU, plenty of close matches. And this one's going down to the wire as well, with 5 minutes remaining. Church. Now they go wide. Kilmurray comes under. Vasagotti goes without it, and Martin.
Penalty coming though, yeah, he's playing the advantage there.
Penalty in front of the sticks, and Lamont points directly to them. And this should seal the game, should he get it.
23 out right in front. A kicker of Sharrett's class and experience isn't going to miss these. This is pushing out by 8 points with only 4 to go. That's 2 scores. That could be a bridge too far, I think, for the Blacks.
And again, that penalty came from the scrum.
Well, they've built their 4-peat on the back of their scrum, haven't they? The Hamilton Hawks.
Travis Salisbury, former Hamilton Hawk, premiership winner himself, and obviously Newcastle Wildfire. He looks after that scrum, and I know he's been down to eastern suburbs and worked with I think Cameron Blades down there when Darren was there. He's very particular. He watches lots of video. He cuts it up. They work in pairs. They work in timing. They work in type 5. They do put a lot of energy into it. And the biggest benefit they get is they pack live scrums at training, because their second grade scrum is nearly as equal to their first grade scrum. So training's nearly as harder than it is game day.
And all credit to Scott and his coaching team. 4 or 5 years ago, when the rest of the competition were looking at off-season programs and supplements and all this other sort of stuff, Scott and his team went right back to the very basics, which was a set piece. And this year would suggest that 4 straight premierships, he's got the formula right. Perhaps the rest of us got it wrong.
Yeah, 20 points to 12 now is the score.
And you'd have to think his house might be built by the time next season rolls around again. So I don't think Hamilton will be letting him take another sabbatical. I think he'll be there while ever he wants to be.
Nice take there by Rockaboro on the 22. Sherritt comes back in the pocket. This will be the first time he's actually kicked, and he didn't even kick it. So he takes it up the field. Has Vasagotti on the outside, goes inside to Backerich. Here comes Vasagotti. Maxwell was there, but he didn't offload. So the Hawks.
Numbers banked out to the left here, Hamilton.
Yeah, they go wide. It bounces to Kilmurray. Has Coupe on the inside. Goes to him. Coupe goes back outside. Laulala kicks him behind. Bainavalu can't get there, but McCormick can. Nice work and a lovely passage of play there by the Hawks again. So the Blacks now, they have to go 100 metres. They have got the side, the firepower that can do it, but with 2.5 remaining, you'd say the game may be over.
And the question you've got to ask is, how do the rest of us catch up to the Hawks? They show no signs of weakening. They've been in 3 straight grand finals. They won a Colts premiership.
Undefeated for 2 years as well.
And they're only getting stronger and stronger, so that next generation's coming there.
Here's Chris Martin. Oh no, so it's McCormick. McCormick on the outside finds Kilmurray, and Logan came streaking up on the inside, couldn't get the ball away. Oh, lovely work there by the Hawks. The Davidson's there again. In a beaten side, he's been probably their best.
He's had a fantastic afternoon, Nick Davidson.
Rob Williamson coming to the sideline. Here's Birrell. Oh, that's a lovely hit. La. That's the hit of the day, and it comes in the last 2 minutes. That is the determination of this Hawks side. Now it goes wide and over the top of Logan's head, and that sums up their afternoon, or indeed their second half.
And that's the sort of day the Blacks have had. They have been so close, but those uncharacteristic errors where they've turned the footy over and given the ball back to the Hawks, at the end of the day, it's cost them a premiership.
Maitland now just makes some changes, giving some of these younger guys, young Ben Wood, coming on the second row. Surprised he didn't go on the second row initially for Jimmy Johnson, considering he's a country under 20 second row and he's played bits of first grade and he's a genuine lock.
It was an interesting choice. I mean, it hasn't affected the game too much as Birrell, he comes from the field and Brooke comes up with it. So the game's not over as Brooke charges up the field. Over the halfway, Stafford goes wide to McCormick, who goes to Manu. Manu Now goes to Logan. Logan goes to Williamson. Has Bainavalu on the inside. Coming across. Flicked inside to McCormick. Looking to get the ball away and gets it to Sherritt, who is cleaned up by Manu. Sherritt will be lucky if he can get up after this one. That one kicked out into touch. The box kick getting them out of trouble now. 30 seconds remaining in regular time.
And it'll be interesting to see how many of these Hamilton Hawks we see go around in 2019. How many of them is for enough?
Rockabora over on the other side of 40, so is Pete Maxwell.
As you said, plenty of young players coming through there, though. Oh, lovely work by Ackersdyke. Church is there to clean up, and the Blacks have come up with it. So, can they get one more try? Here comes Davidson going towards the line. He's looking for two. Great defence on their own line. There's no time remaining, so the Hawks drive over the line. Held up.
That's all she wrote, I think.
And that is going to be full time. So thanks very much, Jimmy Gardner, for joining us. You're going down to present the medal. Who was your man of the match?
I think the number 8 for Hamilton, Tom Coupe. When they needed something, he was the one that lifted early in that second half and made a couple of massive plays.
We'll let you go down and get to the sideline, have a chat to the players. Bobby Harrison, what a game, and Hamilton too strong. It wasn't what Scott Coleman predicted by 15 to 20 points. It was a tougher match than we thought, but I think Tom Coupe definitely the standout player.
Tom Coupe was absolutely brilliant out there for the Hawks. At various times throughout the afternoon, we thought the Blacks might have had their measure, but you know, as I said in the broadcast, like the rest of us have got to play catch up with this Hawks side. Between Scott and his coaching staff and the quality of player that he's been able to bring into the club and the quality of the player he's been able to develop within the club, they've won 4 in a row. Who's to say that they'll go into favourites next year as 5 in a row? And at the end of the day, unfortunately for the Blacks, they tried hard. Their execution wasn't quite there, and you've been playing sudden death football for 3 or 4 weeks now, and it's got to tell at the end of the day.
Thanks very much for joining us throughout the season, Bobby. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, and indeed all the volunteers on Bar TV Sports joining us in the commentary box. Special mention to our Nelson Bay correspondent, Jared Ryan, as well. Couldn't be here today. And indeed, everyone else tuning into Bar TV Sports. We absolutely love doing what we do and growing the game. I'm Gareth Wozniak. What a great grand final as the Hawks come away victors, 20 points to 12. We'll catch you next time.